Hi everyone, Sid here from Teams for Real Estate, and in this video I'm going to talk about the new regulation taken into effect April 1st that'll bring buyers more transparency into the bidding process for real estate. If you're new to this channel, please go ahead and subscribe for all things real estate. I talk about buying, selling, investing, as well as pre-construction. Now, before I get into the new regulation and what kind of impact it'll have and what this means for real estate moving forward, I do want to backtrack a little bit and talk about the current regulations and also what bidding generally is if you're new to this whole thing. But if you'd like to skip ahead to my thoughts and what the new regulations are, then I'm going to timestamp this video, so feel free to skip ahead. So let's talk about what bidding is. So bidding essentially is also commonly referred to as offer night or offer date or holding offers. That's the terminology we use in the industry. And all it is a pricing strategy. It's a marketing strategy by sellers and agents to list a property much below the market value to drive in as many people as possible in order to generate as many offers as possible. So sellers and agents can leverage those offers and bring up the price. It's a very popular strategy. It works really well if done correctly in the right market conditions. It was extremely popular last year, and that's what really drove a lot of real estate prices up. I mean, there were other factors, obviously, most of which were very, very low inventory and interest rates being extremely low, which really drove up the prices. But offer nights were really creating a lot of those prices, inflated prices last year. Essentially, when you're competing as a buyer against other buyers and against other offers, you don't know the contents of what the other offers are. You don't know how much somebody else put in a bid for, what the price is, what the closing date is, what the conditions are, what the deposit is, none of that. So essentially, again, it's a way for sellers to bring in as much buyers as possible, bring in as much interest and potentially offers as possible. So again, it's a very beneficial pricing strategy, marketing strategy for sellers because it works really well. Again, depending on the market conditions, it doesn't always work just in any market, but when it works and when it's done right, it works really, really well. I use it myself for a lot of my listings, again, depending on whether it's the right time to use it, whether it's the right market to use it. Another reason why an agent and a seller may want to list the property low is simply because sometimes agents don't know what the market value of the home is. That's just the reality. An agent sometimes may not know what the market value of the property is because there aren't enough comparables of that property to really figure out or come up with a market value for that property or a list price for that property. So they'll artificially list it very low and let the market decide, let the buyers decide what the property value should be. So again, very important to know the difference between list price and market price. List price is not necessarily the same thing as market value of a property. They're two different things. You can list a property for $1 and drive as many people in as possible, but that doesn't mean that's the value of the property. I hope that makes sense. So let's talk about the current regulation. The current regulation does not allow real estate agents to reveal the contents of the offer. The only thing an agent is allowed to reveal is how many offers are on the table, but not what the price is, what the closing date is, what the conditions are, or any other contents of the offer. So if an agent asks me, hey, how many offers do you have? That's as much as I can say. I cannot tell them the price or any other information. And that's essentially what's creating this blind bidding scenario where a buyer simply does not know what kind of offer they're competing with. Essentially, sometimes bringing in $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 more than the other competing offer. And understandably, buyers were getting extremely frustrated with this sort of environment because they kept getting priced out and kept losing offers and kept losing properties that they loved, that they really wanted. Trust me, I've experienced this myself with buyers, and it's frustrating. And essentially what the government has decided to do is to put a new regulation, and hear me out, it's an opt-in program. So the new regulation that's going to take effect April 1st will allow buyers more transparency only if the seller opts in. Essentially what it means is if a seller says voluntarily and decides to say, yep, I'll opt in to reveal the contents of the offer, then their agent can go ahead and reveal the contents of the offer, how much you're competing with, and what the other contents of the offer are, the price, conditions, all closing date, all that stuff. But if you think about it, why would a seller voluntarily want to opt into a program that will not benefit them? If you're a seller, why would you want other offers or other buyers to know what the other offers are? or what the price of the other offers are. It just doesn't make sense. I don't think this, in my opinion, I don't think this is going to have any effect or any impact on real estate prices going forward. I think it's just a political move by the government to say, here, we're trying to do something. Here you go. Here's a little regulation. But again, it doesn't benefit. If a client or seller tells me, Sid, I want to opt into this program, I'd be happy to follow my seller's direction and do that. And even still, when I think about it, with that opt-in program, even if it was mandatory, let's just say, I still don't think this would really have that much impact on real estate prices, simply because we just have such a shortage of supply in this country, or especially in the city and in the GTA, that there's too much demand and there's not enough supply. So I really don't think either way this would have much of an impact, but the way the new regulation is set up, I don't think it'll have any impact at all. But I'm curious to know your thoughts. What do you guys think this new regulation will mean for real estate? And do you think there's a better solution for offer nights or blind biddings in real estate? Let me know your comments in the comment section below. If you found some value and insights from this video, please go ahead and like, and of course, subscribe to my channel for all things real estate. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.